3 discussion videos in 1 month. Jeez, Afro, save some ad revenue for the rest of us. The Magical Lodestone, informally known as the Potato, is a UT accessory that drops from the Marble Colossus located in the depths of the Lost Halls. By definition, this item could almost be seen as a glass cannon accessory, though it is stripped of this title due to the minimal but still prominent defensive stats that it grants upon equip. Lodestone is arguably one of the most controversial items to exist within Realm of the Mad God. First of all, I'll go over the stats that the accessory grants towards the user. That would be 6 attack, 6 dexterity, 6 speed, and 6 defense, which is already showing glaring issues, but also some phenomenal strengths. The problem with the item and why it gets such little usage is that there is no general consensus from the player base displaying whether the item is good or bad. But instead the item is in this unidentified grey area where the survivalists hate the item, but people who opt for efficiency love the item, which isn't a bad thing. But hopefully in this video I wish to somewhat sever that line and encourage people to make more of an effective use out of this accessory. Going to try and keep this video serious for the most part, but I'm just going to get this out of the way now. In the community's current state, the item could definitely be seen as the Marmites of accessories because you either love it or you hate it. With the release of the Vital Combat update back in September 2020, Deca introduced a new use for the defense stat that not everybody acknowledges or may not even know exists. Defense now increases the minimum threshold of damage you need to take to be put into combat. Though this is ever so slightly off topic, I'm going to explain it simply. Combat Trigger has a defense scaling function which scales off of your defense stat. This Combat Trigger scaling has diminishing returns, however. From this graph you can see that for every 25 defense granted, the scaling decreases in effectiveness by 25%. The reason why this is important because though there are multiple defensive rings in the game that grant defense, the accessory to rival the Lodestone in raw damage would of course be the Forgotten Crown, which functions similarly in the sense that they both grant 12 DPS stats. All the stats in the Lodestone are a straight enabler for skill expression. From the hefty DPS stats to the 6 speed it grants which assists the users in dodging, it has rightfully claimed its place as a skillful high risk, high reward accessory. Both accessories enable certain builds to work for the average player, and I say average because the Lodestone is an item where skill expression can be critical to achieving maximum efficiency. To justify this, I'd like to divert your attention to a phenomenal veteran player that you may or may not know. Charizard, also known as Crate Killer, is a great example of someone who utilizes the Lodestone to maximum efficiency, using the speed to assist in weaving through shots and the offensive stats to contribute heavy DPS in both solo play and group situations. And of course, as well as me giving credit where credit is due for this accessory, it does have some serious drawbacks. Due to the lack of maximum health that this accessory grants, it does limit the surrounding item choice, but not to the point where you're losing an incredible amount of efficiency. This is where the line between the survivalist mentality and the efficiency mentality come into play. In my case at least, I have this golden rule when it comes to armors and accessories when I'm playing rogue classes. I do not wish to speak on behalf of melee players or any other class mains, but this is how I go about it at least. Diplomatic Robe goes with the Forgotten Crown, Vesture of Duality goes with the Exalted God's Horn. The explanation itself is rather simple. Exalted God's Horn makes up for the deficit that the Vesture inflicts. Mostly. And whilst using a Vesture with Crown makes for some stupidly high and reliable DPS, it also makes you more vulnerable than a Pensionate's Cataract. Anyways, how this all ties it together is that the Magical Lodestone can easily be used to justify the use of a more defensive armor choice, to make for a great all-rounder build to suit both the survivalists and those who opt for efficiency. This applies to all armor classes, maximizing the use of the Breastplate of New Life, Soulless Robe, and the Leaf Dragon Hide armor. We call that one a potato salad. In conclusion, I believe this item isn't as appreciated as it should be. Oh, hey, quick editor's note, also being myself. Another critical thing to note is that there are 2 classes that can actually get away with reliably using the Lodestone with an offensive armor choice, that being the Paladin and the Necromancer. The Paladin will always have a great health pool due to the consistent uptime of the Paladin seal, and the Skull of the Necromancer can grant up to a bonus 120 max HP if the tier 7 skull is equipped, which, may I add, is the equivalent of a Paramount HP ring. If this video made you second guess giving this accessory a try, let me know by messaging me in game. These discussion videos require quite a lot of research, planning, and editing. It'd be appreciated if you liked the video and subscribe to my channel for more, as it actually helps a lot more than you'd expect. Until next time.